just so you know, my boyfriend is right there. He has the headphones on, so you might hear him laughing throughout this video because he's watching something on. What are you watching? Marcus? I don't know if you can hear me. He probably can. He's probably ignoring me. But he's watching some comedians, so you might hear him laughing in the background. I just wanted to come on here and do, I don't know, this little rant. Actually, I wanted to talk about me just for a little bit. And when I first started practicing witchcraft, when I first really started practicing where I incorporated it in my everyday life, I was 13 years old, okay? And the first book I ever received on witchcraft was Sarah Lydon. I think it's Lydon or Linden. I forget. It's been a long time. Sarah Lyndon Morrison, The Modern Witch's Spellbook. And it wasn't a book of spells or anything. It was more of like kind of like these entries of her doing these elaborate rituals in her home. And there is some references to astrology and demons and angels, and I was fascinated by it. And I was learning everything that I could. And when I was 13, that's when the internet started getting really big, and there was more than just forums. And that was back in 2001, I believe. Yeah, 2001. But I love that book, and it was so different from what I was already hearing about this thing called Wicca, you know, or this Wiccan New Age pagan movement, which had been going on since the 70s. And I've studied a lot of things. I've studied a lot about Alexandrian witchcraft, Gardnerian witchcraft, and these are all newer, not I want to say newer forms of witchcraft, but they are forms of religious witchcraft, if you want to say. I know that a lot of Wicca stems from it, but the witchcraft that I have always studied never really had any religious ties to it. It was all magic. I was studying magic. You want to call it witchcraft, you can, but I was studying magic, and I still study magic. I have always been a solitary practitioner, and it wasn't until I was 19 that I met my first teacher. I came into contact with my first teacher. Now, my teacher had actually always been in my life from the time I was born. Our families are really close. Our families are really linked together. And though I wasn't aware of her presence until I was 19, she had always been in my life through family. She was best friends with my cousin, who is significantly older than me. We were born and raised into the same religion, which was the Jehovah's Witness religion. And I don't call it a religion. I think it's a cult, you know. And my parents were really into it. And from the time I was 11 years old, I always knew that there was something more to this religion or this cult than what they were telling me. And but it wasn't until I was 19 that I actually found a teacher. And it wasn't I woke up one day and I'm going to look for a teacher and she's going to find me or he's going to find me. No. It was actually through work. You know, this person that became my teacher was working with my mother, and we were working for the same company. And it just so happens that we were into the same kind of music, we were into the same kind of artwork, we were just into the same kind of things. And though she was significantly older than me, I felt this like connection right away. And little by little, I found out that she actually knew about the occult and knew bits and pieces. She never came out and told me, hey, I'm a witch, you know. She was always throwing things at me, and I was always playing with tarot cards, and she, you know, we'd start conversations that way. Oh, my fucking throat. You might see me smoking in this video, that's fine. I'm not trying to be professional, and just so you know, none of my videos are professional videos, so if you want to say whatever you want to say, go ahead and say it. But back to what I was telling you. So little by little, I learned that she was really into what she was preaching. And I revealed to her that I am a practicing witch. Back then, I always said practicing. I didn't feel comfortable saying I am a witch because I didn't feel at the time that I was one. Now I do, but at the time, I always considered myself a practitioner. And I still am, but I didn't feel worthy enough to call myself that title. The first book I picked up on my own that I really tried studying, oh my god, it was so hard. And it was like reading stereo instructions. But if you get a chance, look this book up. Modern Magic by Donald Michael Craig. 11 Lessons in High Magic. Yeah, magical arts. And it's full of information on magical practice. And at the time, I remember thinking, oh my god, this makes absolutely no sense to me at all. And I didn't get it. And it wasn't until maybe recently, you know, maybe like a couple months ago, that I actually got in contact with the book again. Because I had lost it for a long time and I didn't get it. So I just kind of like put it on the bookshelf and just forgot about it. I didn't know, like, from the time I was 19 until now, I'm 25 by the way, I have learned so much. And back then, when I picked up that book, I didn't get anything. But now, from all the knowledge that I've acquired over the years and through experience and through practice, everything in that book makes sense now. Everything that I was trying to learn, I can piece together now. Now, I know that I have been studying a lot of lower magic, you know, hoodoo, you know, stuff with candles, dressing candles, charms, and that was relatively new to me 6 years ago. And so I was always taught that you need these big elaborate rituals, and you have to go by the phases of the moon and the astrology and make sure that, you know, very, very structured. And that's how I was taught, that magic is very structured. High magic is very structured, and you don't dress candles and put them in front of an image. Like that didn't make very much sense to me. And I'll be honest, when I first got into this kind of magic, low magic, hoodoo, root work, I thought it was a joke. I thought it was a novelty act, because if you know, the first thing that I came into contact with were oils. Oils that had really weird names, like Come to Me or Follow Me. And to me, in my mind, I thought that they were just trying to make money by giving you this, you know, this weird title on a fucking oil. But I didn't really understand it then. And I had moved back to my hometown after after a year, which I live in Palm Springs, but I was living in San Diego at the time. And when I got in contact with my teacher, I had been learning under her for about maybe 2.5 years, until she moved away from me. She moved away from me, and so I was kind of on my own, you know. So I didn't have anybody to go to magic shops with, or to learn, or to talk to. I was really on my own. So I remember one day going into a botanica. Now, see, I had been going to occult shops, you know, like magic shops that were more geared to New Age and Wicca, and I was still trying to learn from that on my own, and it just wasn't speaking to me because it was so full of light and full of, you know, this New Age psychological babble. And I was just totally bored of it. There's something in me that was darker, yes, and I wanted to learn more darker things, and Wicca was just not providing that for me. I wanted to learn things that they wouldn't want to teach you, and I'm sorry, I never believed in the threefold law. I thought it was just restricting, you know what I mean? So I remember after she left, I remember going with my mom to a botanica because we wanted to get some herbs for something. Nothing magical, but I knew that they had these herbs there, so I went with my mom. And I remember looking, and I'm thinking, oh my god, all this Catholic shit everywhere. But then I noticed there's like a bunch of tarot cards here, and there's a bunch of devil and I realized this is more than just a Catholic shop. There's some voodoo shit going on here. And then I met this lady named Soul, and she didn't speak a word of English at all. And she was telling me about her religion and how that a lot of it is witchcraft and the synchronicity between the saints and their gods. And to me, it was very, very fascinating. I had no idea, and I asked her about the oils. That was the first thing I asked her. Why do they have these weird names? Like, what is it? And she says, those oils do exactly what they say on the label. And I'm like, how? And it's all through prayer, through meditation, through forcing your will. And it's very much like the techniques you learn in ceremonial high magic. Just, you know, the meditation, the focusing, and the constant visuals. Visualization is very important. And so, like, I wanted to learn more. So I'd come back every day to her shop. And eventually, you know, she felt comfortable enough with me to take me in her back altar room where she had her altar set up. Well, she had many altars set up actually in the back, and she had where she gave her readings. And she took me back there, and back there I saw like little bowls on the ground with honey and people's names on paper crossed, and she was telling me about it. And that's how I got involved. And I remember thinking this was amazing. Now, it wasn't until now that from all the teaching that I've received over the years, and all of the mistakes that I've made, and all of the experience that I've had, that now I can take this book and I can apply it to everything I've learned. And when I say high magic and low magic, I'm not trying to say that high magic is better than low magic. When I say high magic, I mean magic that's on the outside. Magic that you basically need to go into your mind for. Magic that has to do with the cosmos and the stars. Magic that is ritualized and structured. Magic that has to do with order, you know. Now, lower magic is not any less than high magic. Lower magic is still the same, but it's more personal. It doesn't involve a lot of people. It doesn't involve ritual robes. It doesn't involve any of that. Lower magic has to do with the earth and using elements that are available to you and tapping into those energies and making it work. You know, when it comes to magical teachers, you cannot learn witchcraft by going online and signing up for an apprenticeship. Okay, that's not how you learn. You may learn the basics, but you're not going to learn everything, because over the years I've learned that you do not tell everybody everything you know, because you don't know how much they know and how much they can use against you. And there have been instances where there are practicing magicians who have a student, and later on that student fucks them in the ass by turning against them because they think they're so much better now that they've, you know, acquired all this knowledge. A lot of, you know, misleading information can be given to you via the internet, through somebody saying, I have a class and I can teach you. No, like, you can do all that all you want, but if it's meant for you, it'll come to you. And I know that really doesn't sit well with a lot of people because they want everything to happen now. But go out, go to bookstores, go online, interact with people. Eventually, you will run into somebody who has a lot of years on them and is willing to show you things, who is willing to teach you. And that's special. That's a special bond. There's no Hogwarts here, okay? There's no like, okay, I'm going to teach a class to all these people. No, because to me that defeats the purpose of the intimacy of a teacher and a student, especially in the in magical context. So, would I personally go out and learn under an apprenticeship? No. You know, I might take a few classes on how to do certain things, but I already have a basic knowledge of how I have my magical structure set up. I know where I want things. I know how to make things manifest. You know, I I have my visualization down. You know, before I didn't. My mind was everywhere, so I couldn't sit there and focus. You know, magic is more than just lighting a few candles and saying some prayers. You have to put yourself into it. You have to make it work through your personal will, through your visualization. You have to make it happen on your own. Another good book that I'm actually reading right now is this one called Cyber Magic by Peter J. Carroll, and that has to do with chaos magic. Chaos magic is a newer system of magic than other systems, and there's no real religious ties to it at all, and it's a lot different from what I've been learning in regards to like ceremonial high magic, where you can take magic out of basically thin air and make it work. But I think this is for a more advanced practitioner who's already been practicing magic for a while and has their visualization and has confidence in their own abilities, not through any deity of any some sort, but through their own personal struggles and experiences. Do they make the magic happen? Oh man, I got a packable. That sucks. Oh well, I'll just do it after the video. But, I don't know, I want to talk to the little kids out there. The little kids that have been misled or have witnessed all the drama that has been going on lately. Like, my advice to you is run away from anybody who claims to know everything on the internet or who boasts about their magical abilities, because a true magician, a true witch does not go around saying, I can do this, I can do that, and I know what I'm good at, and I know how to do it. No, that's stupid. You're making yourself open to attack. Okay, don't ever trust anybody who boasts about themselves magically, because a true magic and a true magician and a true witch will stay in the shadows, and they will observe, and they will watch, and they will know who's full of shit and who isn't full of shit. Just be careful. Be very careful, you know. Magic is very real. Magic is very dangerous. And especially when you know that someone is stronger than you. Magic has the ability to kill. Magic has the ability to heal. It can go in any direction. As long as you know what you're doing. Be very, very careful. I'm not saying don't practice it, because when you're a witch, and it's going to scream to you. You just have no way of, like, leaving it. There are many times where I have tried to walk away from it and not do it anymore because I either didn't have faith in myself or I was just going through things that weren't substantial to what I was practicing, and so I tried walking away. But you cannot walk away from it. When it truly calls to you, it is you. You can't escape it, and it'll find you. But that's okay. You know, I'm proud of who I am, and I love being a witch, and I love doing all this, and I love talking to people who are worth my time talking to. I'm a pretty private person most of the time. I have videos on here, but a lot of times people write me, and they want to know this, and they want to know that. Go learn about it. Go study. Go figure it out, you know. Eventually you'll know what's right for you and what isn't right for you, and what's bullshit and what's not bullshit. Unfortunately, there are some people that just have to learn the hard way, and that's okay. At least you learn. I'm one of those people who have to learn the hard way. So, other than that, I just wanted to come on here and talk to all of you, so.